Now we're moving into a new chapter focusing on relations and functions. And we'll talk more about relations and functions in the next two sections, section 13.2 and 13.3. But for right now, we're going to focus on the coordinate plane, which is section 13.1. Here are some terms that you will need to know regarding the coordinate plane. The x-axis is the horizontal axis. It's the line that goes left and right. To the right of the origin or the center where 0 would be, you would have positive numbers, and to the left you would have negative numbers, and this goes horizontal, left to right. Then we have the y-axis, which goes up and down. This goes vertical. Above the intersection, you're going to have positive numbers, and below the intersection at 0 at the origin, you're going to have negative numbers. And I've been using the word origin. Origin is the point where the axes intersect, where you have the two lines intersect in the coordinate plane. Then we have the term ordered pair. We know a pair consists of two things. So the ordered pair consists of two numbers or symbols for which an order is important. So when we are trying to plot a number on the coordinate plane, we're going to be focusing on two numbers. So the ordered pair is going to be referring to the x and y axis. So if we look at the diagram at the bottom, you can see in parentheses we have -2, 2, and that's going to be point A. -2 is going to be on the x-axis. You can find it's going horizontal, that's the -2. The +2, which is the second number after the comma, is 2, so that's going to be on the y-axis, and that's going to be positive. So that is the ordered pair. We're dealing with two numbers that intersect to make a point. So every point on the coordinate plane is described by an ordered pair. You have x first, that's the number that's going to be first. So we had -2, so that's going to be horizontal, that's the first number. Then you have the comma, and then you have the y-axis. So 2 was on the y-axis, that's going up and down. So the x-coordinate is the first coordinate, that's on the x-axis. The y-coordinate is the second number, the second coordinate, and that's going to be on the y-axis going up and down. Because we have two numbers together, that's going to be an ordered pair. The coordinate plane is divided into 4 quadrants, 4 sections. You can see here they are numbered in Roman numeral and they move counterclockwise. So you can see 1 is going to be in the top right. That's going to be positive and positive for the x and y, positive and positive. So 1 is in the top right. I know the tendency is to think, oh, 1 is going to be top left, but no, we're going to be moving from top right, then to top left, that's Roman numeral 2, then bottom left, Roman numeral 3, and then bottom right, Roman numeral 4. So we have a total of 4 quadrants. If you have a number that's going to be x and y that are both positive, it will be in quadrant 1. If the x is negative, but the y is positive, it will be in quadrant 2. If both of the pairs, the coordinate pairs, are negative, it's going to be in quadrant 3. If the first pair is positive and the second is negative, then it's going to be in quadrant 4. So quadrant 1 is positive and positive for the x and y. Quadrant 2, the x is negative and the y is positive. Quadrant 3, they're both negative. And quadrant 4, the x, which is the first number, is positive. The y is negative. That's the second number. If there's a number not on any of these quadrants, it will probably be at the origin, and that will be at 0. Now, if it's a point on the x or on the y, that also would not fall under a quadrant. Okay, let's try practice 1. Here we have a dot. Let's see what the ordered pair is for that dot. So go ahead and pause this for practice 1 and 2. So for practice 1, identify the point that's identified, which one would be the x, which one would be the y for the ordered pair, and then practice 2, try and figure out point P and point Q. Write those down and then let's check our answers. Okay, let's see what you did so far for practice 1. Before we look at the answers, we know that the first number on the coordinate pair is going to be on the x. So we can see that's a positive 2, and we move up, and on the y-axis, that's a 4. Okay, let's see if we got that right. Okay, that's correct, 2 and 4. So 2 is on the x, 4 is on the y. Let's go back and look at practice number 2. So for practice number 2, we have the ordered pair for point P. So point P on the x, that goes first. That's going to be negative 2. On the y, it's on a 0. So negative 2 comma 0 should be P. And then for Q, we have the x is 3 and the y should be negative 3. Let's see if we got that right. Okay, so P is negative 2 and 0. And then Q is the x is 3 and the y is negative 3. Excellent. Let's try practice number 3, 4, and 5. We're going to use the coordinate plane below to answer these 3 questions. What point of the graph is represented by 2 comma negative 1? So 2 is the x, and then we have negative 1. Practice number 4, what point is negative 2 and 1? Negative 2 is the x, 1 is the y. And then practice number 5, negative 1 comma negative 2. Pause this, and let's check the answers. Okay, let's see how you did. Now let's try practice number 6. What quadrant would each of these fall under? So go ahead, let's pause this and let's write down what quadrant or perhaps axis would this be located on. Okay, let's go ahead and check our answers after you're done. A, 3, negative 2, so 3 is on the x, and negative 2, so this should be the 4th quadrant. B, it's the x is on the 0, so that's going to be on the x-axis, 0. So 0 will not be anywhere on the x-axis, so we have to go up and down on the y-axis, so that's 4 up on the y-axis, so that's on the y. And then C, 1 and 6 is on quadrant 1 because they're both positive, and D, they're both negative. Negative 3, negative 1, this would be quadrant 3.